If you didn't hear, then fuck whatever's
afraid, be very afraid.
I used to think the rappers had it figured out.
Admit was Chopper is the remote.
What's up, guys? Thanks for being back for 4 videos here. It's Peanut 1. If you wonder where I got Peanut from, that's just my old graffiti name. Um, we're back doing music analysis, not reactions really, more analysis of the lyrics. But we already got Aesop Rock, Sage Francis, and Hobson done. But today's going to be a little bit shorter video because it's a little bit shorter song and kind of a unique situation here. So today we're doing Death by Camu Tao. Camu Tao. I believe that's how you say his name. Camu. I don't know. Camu Tao is how I would pronounce it. But anyway, Camu Tao is like an important artist because he was a big piece of a puzzle um in an underground record label that kind of, I want to say, set a direction and set a motion for underground music from the East Coast. That label was Definitive Jux, um by LP. And LP's a terrific rapper. We're gonna have to get to him one day. But Camus Tao was one of his close friends on the label, and another important piece of that puzzle was Aesop Rock. So um, Camu Tao had a big influence with Aesop Rock. Aesop Rock even writes a song called "Get Out the Car." LP mentions him many a times in his music, but Camus died at 30 years old in 2008. And it's to my understanding that he recorded a lot of these lyrics at a time, and they were kind of just stored or banked or something. Maybe they were just ideas for a project that he wanted to do, maybe something he wanted to put together later. And he ended up passing away. And LP came 2 years later, I think in 2010, took Camus' lyrics, built beats around them, I believe, and put out an album for Camus, put it out for free as one of the last albums put out by Def Jux, which is a sad era in itself. Camus passed away of cancer, and I don't really look up the details too much. I kind of let the music tell the stories. But I'm guessing Camus was going through his sickness, going through cancer, lung cancer, or something when he wrote this song. This is how I picture it. And he wrote this song as a reaction to his sickness and maybe coming to terms with what is to come. So let's start to listen to it. This is Death by Camu Tao. I really like the beat on this song.
I'm obsessed by every move.
Okay, so one of the reasons I picked this song is because I got asked to kind of teach or put together a spoken word poetry class for teens, and I really want them to understand the importance of metaphors in poetry and in music. And I I wanted to do a popular song with lots that a whole song that was a metaphor was going to be one by Eminem, but I thought of Camu Tao, and this whole song is a metaphor, right? Because here we go, we're getting into it. I'm obsessed by her. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back it up right here. He says, I hope that she figures it out and she knows where I'm at. I'm obsessed by her every move. You know that's a fact. So I hope that she figures it out and she knows where I'm at. He's talking about what? A woman. She. I hope she figures it out and she knows where I'm at. But is he talking about a woman? The song's name is Death. I hope Death figures it out and Death knows where I'm at. That's some heavy, heavy lyrics to be battling cancer, to write that down on paper and record it. Because what is Camus asking for? He wants Death to figure it out. I'm right here. That's what he's saying. You know where I'm at. That's crazy. I'm obsessed by her every move. You know that's a fact. He's going through cancer. Now, that's all he could think about. That's all he could think about. He's obsessed with her every move. What is she gonna do next? What's cancer gonna do to him next? While he's still alive, while he's writing this down on paper. Just, I don't know. It's crazy to know that you're battling this and to write it down on paper. Just look at his face. Just look at his face. It's like such a beautiful image that I just like feel like it was taken just purposefully for this song. Like he's looking into the light. And it's not like he's scared, but more like he's curious. All right. Let's take it back a little bit and play it a little bit more. So I kind of skipped ahead a little bit right here. Um, he was last talking about that he's obsessed and it's a fact. He says she's a dangerous one, no lie. You could take her, or she can take you with her by surprise. That's crazy. Death is a dangerous one, no lie. and she can take you by surprise. And I just love that he's talking about death as a woman, not because death is a woman, or a woman is death, but because even in this state of mind, right, of he has cancer and he wants to talk about it and he wants to document it and write it down and record it. He is still an artist and he still brings it to us in a metaphor, right? He still wants to be poetic. And so he's telling us two stories at the same time, right? He's talking about a woman, but he's talking about death. And he lets you interpret it how you want to interpret it. I mean, we know what he's talking about because of course he wants you to know what he's talking about, but he gives you the option right there. He doesn't just come out and say, "This is what I'm saying." He says, "This, this, this," right here. Um, so then he goes into his pretty much chorus. Death, where have you been all my life? I said, Death, where have you been all my life? What do you, that's like when you say, okay, so now he's being more direct, right? Instead of being like talking about a woman, now he's saying, Death, where have you been all my life? Because he wants us to understand, right? And at the same time, he's still leaving it poetical by saying, "Where have you been all my life?" What do you ask or say to a woman that you're in love with, right? Where have you been all my life? Where have you been? I wish I met you years ago, right? Where have you been my whole life? But no, his fool's talking about death. Where have you been all my life? Why would you ask death, where have you been all my life? You know? I thought this was going to be a shorter video. I mean, it still might be, but this song is just heavy to me and it's deep, 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 deep. It's an amazing song, way before its time. And one more thing, I think he's kind of getting his melody from an old school song. I don't know the name of that song. If you know it, drop it in the comments. Um, and let me know because I'm sure it's an older song. But you know, rappers do that all the time, right? I mean, we wouldn't even have songs by Dr. Dre if it wasn't for sampling or Puff and Biggie, you know what I mean? Because they took old school songs, sampled them, and brought them to life again. All right, I'm gonna start this back just a little bit because we talk a lot, but that's because this is very deep. Okay, here we go. Now he goes back to the metaphor, right, of of death being a woman, right? Off of the chorus, back into the second verse. Now, each time I saw her, I couldn't wait to see her again, right? She said we could be together, but we'd be more than just friends. So that's kind of going back to like asking, where have you been all my life, right? Each time I saw her, I couldn't wait to see her again. If I was, I don't know, because I've never been in this situation, but if I was dying of cancer or sick with cancer, I wouldn't be saying that I want to see you again to death. Death would be the last person that I want to see again. But Camu is must be ready. He's ready to accept that fate. I'm not sure, but that's what it sounds like. He's ready. She said we could be together, but we'd be more than just friends. Now he's not talking to death, but recollecting a conversation that he's had with death. We could be together, but we'd be more than just friends. You know, he's making that agreement right there. Okay, let's be together, death. Let's be together, death. He's, in my opinion, right here, saying, yeah, I accepted it. I accepted this relationship. I'll follow you, death. Like that picture right there. Um, I guess right there. Getting better at this. Um, Looks like he's ready to follow death, follow her into that light that's shining on his face right there. So she's a cold-blooded killer, no lie. She can tell it, or you can tell it by the look in her eyes. That's the next line after he said that she said that they could be together, but they'd be more than just friends. Now he's looking death. He's looking a cold-blooded killer in the eyes. You could tell it by the look in her eyes. Imagine looking a cold-blooded killer right in the eyes, and that's what Camus is doing. That's what he's doing by writing this song. When you come to that conclusion, when you come to that acceptance of death in any form, in which he says right here, 1,000,001 ways to die, and she's all of them. He's looking her in the eye. And I could imagine just looking death in the eyes and seeing 1,000,001 ways to die. And she's all of them. But you just got that one right there. The one way you know you're going to die. And you've accepted that. And then she kissed me. She's talking about a woman. He's talking about death. The kiss of death. She kissed me. She gave him the conclusion to his life. The kiss of death. So now he's just going back into the chorus right here. Death, where has it been all my life? I love this beat. And so I'm not exactly sure if that's the way it happened that LP went back and produced the beats over his lyrics, or if he already kind of had them lined up, Camu did, and he just went in and added to them and reproduced and re-edited them and all that stuff. But I really, the whole song, the lyrics, his voice, the beat, it all just goes together. I love that part that goes down, 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 down. It just feels kind of, I don't know, heavy, very fitting. Then we just gotta fade out. All right, that was Death by Camu Tao. Um, Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, let me know if you guys have a song suggestion for me to analyze the lyrics, not do a first reaction, but to actually break down the lyrics and think about what this person is saying. I really enjoyed doing this one. He's a very important artist to a lot of artists that are important to me, and especially coming from Def Jux. All right, you guys. See you next time. Peace.
If you didn't hear, then fuck whatever.
Be afraid, be very afraid.
I used to think the rappers had it figured out.
Penut was Cipher is the real McCool.
Everyone tryna be trife, never face the consequences.